Janel Grant had until Friday to file her amended sex trafficking lawsuit against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. And it just so happened to be once again on the eve of the Royal Rumble. It was like deja vu from last year. On Friday, she did just that, providing, in the words of her attorney, new evidence that McMahon treated Ms. Grant as a commodity to sexually abuse and offer to other men. And the proposed amended complaint includes never-before-seen text and voice messages from McMahon and provides new details about how McMahon coerced Ms. Grant into sexual acts through her employment at WWE. Now, I wouldn't say there is a ton of new information here, but there is new information included. And the biggest thing is that she names names this time that we had only guessed she was speaking about in the original complaint, like Brock Lesnar. But now he's actually named in the lawsuit. Multiple times, in fact, including the part in the suit where she alleges McMahon offered a sexual encounter with Grant to Lesnar as part of contract negotiations with him. The suit also alleges that she was ordered to send Brock sexually explicit content of herself. Not that there was any chance that we were going to see Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble this weekend, regardless, but this should put to bed any talk about a Brock return to TV anytime soon. It's not going to happen. When and if he ever returns, it will not be until after this case is resolved, whether that's in a courtroom or behind closed doors in arbitration, which is what McMahon and Laurinaitis and WWE are asking for. They don't want this litigated in open court before a jury. Also, executives Nick Khan and Brad Blum are formally identified as WWE Corporate Officer number 1 and Corporate Officer number 2, respectively. A new paragraph says that Grant did not feel free to quit her job and walk away. It says, immersion in the legal department demonstrated to Ms. Grant the highly reactive and even retaliatory nature of WWE, such that she felt increasingly trapped. The lawsuit alleges that while McMahon was openly sharing explicit content of her with others, he also attempted to conceal his behavior by addressing WWE emails referring to Grant as Thomas Grant. There are also new text messages that show McMahon telling Grant what other men said they wanted to do to her. A new text message from in or about September 2020 had McMahon allegedly texting Grant to create customized pornographic content for producer Michael Hayes and his crew. So that's a new claim that was not in the original complaint. I don't recall his name being mentioned before. Another new claim describes McMahon video calling Laurinaitis and proceeding to record Grant while she was nude without her consent. The suit alleges that when Grant moved to talent relations, WWE constructed a new custom corner office suite to Laurinaitis' taste that shared a wall with Paul Triple H Levesque's office. The office had an internal door that connected directly into Laurinaitis' office, according to the suit. Khan and Blum were allegedly involved in the planning of this office. What it does not say, I should point out, is that Levesque was involved in the planning of that or that he was aware of anything. But, this woman was there. And she had an office right there. Do I believe that he had no knowledge that there was some hanky-panky going on with his father-in-law and this woman? It's a tough pill to swallow. Like, I have no idea if he was aware of the depravity of what was going on, supposedly. But if any of this stuff is true, like, it sounds like it was an open secret among people in that office. Like, how could he not know that something funny was going on? It just stretches the bounds of credibility to think otherwise. But there is no evidence to suggest that he did know anything, even if she was just on the other side of his wall, apparently. The amended suit has a transcript of a voice message that McMahon left for Grant, repeatedly asking her to sign the NDA. At one point saying that, quote, "We need to work on this really fucking fast, otherwise I'm double fucked." presumably meaning that he would be divorced and possibly be forced out of his own company. This is a transcript of that audio message. This is Vince McMahon, allegedly. Hi, baby. I'm packing up because I got to get out of here and go to bed. I'm still at the office and I got a board meeting in the morning at 10 o'clock. In any event, on the agreement stuff, we have to do it. And here's why. Because there's a new twist in this fucking thing. Wow, is this ever going to end? So there's an audit committee. It's a public company, and if we don't get this done by the 31st, I'm fucked, because McDevitt is in charge of this fucking audit of the books kind of thing. He's got to tell the audit committee there's no lawsuits, there's no pending this, there's no pending that, and he won't do and can't do it legally unless I get this thing signed. So we need to work on this really fucking fast, otherwise I'm double fucked. I'll be divorced. Aside from that, I'll be fucking, I don't know what this is going to do in terms of, and then it says, ... shit. If he and I don't get it done, he's got to go to the audit committee and say, by the way, here where we say yada, 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 Janel. So now the board knows my story, knows what's going on. And it's like, oh my God, holy shit. They kick people out of their own fucking company. That's not going to happen here. But oh my God, it's like public shit and all that kind of stuff. So I'm fucking tired of this shit. But in any event, sorry to be responding so late. But so we've got to get this fucking thing done so quickly, baby. I had no idea that McDevitt was, well, not turn on me, because that's not really the case at all. It's a legal deal, And he can't say no to the audit. Or he can't say to the audit committee, no, I never told him any of this stuff. He wouldn't know. But now he knows. And now he's been involved in writing some of this and all that kind of crap. And I got to get this fucking thing done or I'm double fucked. So let's please get this done some way, somehow. Okay. I'm sorry, baby. We have to do it this way because I'd like to do it on a napkin too. But now I can't. What exactly would he like to do on a napkin? Maybe I don't want to know. Anyway, you get the. I'm not going to read the rest of this. You get the gist of it. According to the lawsuit, Grant agreeing to the NDA was entered, quote, under duress and or as a result of fraudulent inducement engaged in by McMahon, and the same is void as a matter of law. So that's her argument for why the NDA should be null and void. Should this go to trial, that's what she wants. She does not want this to go to binding arbitration. That's what's stated in the NDA, that if there's any sort of disagreement, it's settled in arbitration. Her argument is the NDA is invalid, so therefore we don't do arbitration. We want to take it to trial. And by the way, that's a transcript of a voicemail. I would imagine that she still has the actual audio, though, if it's being transcribed, verbatim like that. But this part here is pretty wild. This is from the complaint. McMahon recklessly obtained Ms. Grant's nude photos while being filmed for a documentary, and shots of him viewing her nude images aired on Netflix in 2024 for the world to see. And in the complaint, they include screenshots of him from the documentary sitting at the head of the table in this giant ballroom where they were having a production meeting. And you can see Michael Cole is sitting there in front of him. And he's looking at something on his phone, which we can't see what it is. But she claims they're nude images of her that she sent during the meeting. So that was from the Bill Simmons Netflix docuseries. And evidently they had no idea what he was looking at on his phone at that time. And think about what Vince said in that docuseries about having two different, I don't think it was two different brains. It's like, he was describing how it's almost like he has two different computers in his head at any given moment, where one is like talking to you right now, and the other one is thinking about something completely different. But then there's a third one. And when he gets asked by Bill Simmons, like, what's the other brain or computer thinking about? He said, something fun involving sex. Like, holy shit. Finally, something he wasn't lying about. There's images of the text messages in the complaint as well. Again, with photos from this big production meeting. And Vince is like, like in his text message back to her, like, "Oh, check out Johnny." And then he's sending like a picture of the meeting. And it has her responses. It has her text message bubbles back to him with her saying, "Oh, he's adorable. And so when I send you a sexy pic, this is the meeting I interrupt, huh?" Like, I wouldn't say they paint her in the best light either, but you can make of that what you will. McMahon's attorney, Jessica Rosenberg, called the amended lawsuit a publicity stunt in a statement. She said, "As expected, the proposed amended complaint is nothing more than the latest publicity stunt in an ongoing smear campaign. It is filled with desperate falsehoods from a team that continues to disregard the law and the truth." And now we wait for the judge to rule on whether to allow Grant's amended complaint. Right now, it's only proposed. It has not been accepted. But once that is decided, the defendants will then have until February 21st to respond, the defendants being Vince, Laurinaitis, and WWE. And they would be expected to resubmit their motions to transfer the case to arbitration. And that would be the next big decision. And that's a major one, probably the biggest one yet. That decision will tell the tale about how this case is going to go. Not one question, by the way, addressed to Levesque last night during the post-show scrum about the amended lawsuit. You would think, as an officer of the company, and given that his name is mentioned in the suit and the timing of it, that it would have been an obvious question for somebody to ask. Like, even if you weren't expecting him to give much more than a stock answer, right? But like, nothing.